Everyone, this is my pleasure to be on the dais. Present, ladies and gentlemen, researchers, academicians, non-academicians, and my dearest students. All the time we have a conference and we need keynote speakers. What the concept of keynote speaker? I'd like to highlight onto this. Why keynote speaker is always needed in a conference? And you will never find a single conference without a keynote speaker. Many times it's more in numbers, many times it's very less, but keynote is the word. The reason is keynote speaker need to come to the conference with a new idea, with a new talk in the areas of conference, maybe in the periphery or in the core. In this attempt, we have so many keynote speakers from outside India, from India, and one from your institute. I picked up this to deliver this. Anyone is welcome to take care of this position. Next conference, I will be not. Any one of you will be picking up. Today, the topic I'm going to talk about a dichotomy that we face in life. Man and medicine. I'm not a man of medicine. The United Nations has given us the sustainable goals. And the United Nations in its process, if you look in this, sustainable goals are what? Who designed this? Who is that stupid who has designed this sustainable goal? The word is stupid. Reason is they have forgotten that sustainability doesn't come the way you design. Today, you know, out of this entire population of the world we are consuming, each one of us at a global per capita average, $730 per year in our food. $730 per year in our food. And we are consuming $1,348 pharmaceutical things per capita in this world. We are talking about sustainability. We are eating more medicines, less of the pharmaceuticals, less of the food. That's what is the situation. Coming to this dichotomy, I need to come back and to talk about many things which has got a mixture of economics as well as the industry. To start with my presentation, I need to talk about there are a couple of diseases in the world whose turnover, whose total size is more than the India's economy. If I calculate and say India's economy is $3 trillion. What's a trillion is? 1,000 billion is equal to 1 trillion. If I say India's economy is $3 trillion by some economics, if it's taken as right, because they say it's the GDP, then what's that GDP is all about? Calculated, computed, right? Which is available in the sources of the tax structure. All these vegetables you buy in the market, are they taxed? Or are you asking for the receipt? Food grains from the groceries, from the farmers, farm products. Are these things taken into account? So like that, many things, if you look in life, are not taken into account. If you really want to calculate pragmatically what is the GDP of India, it falls near about $6.2 trillion. Not $3 trillion. If I convert this again into a purchasing power parity, it multiplies. Then you need to accept that $1 is equivalent to 12 rupees, not 84 rupees. We are at the exchange rate. Anyway, these are the gimmicks are there. But let's look at two diseases before 2019, and I'm going to talk about in 2023. Two things the world has seen. We have seen this 5 years. 2019. Size of one disease called diabetes. Diabetes is not a disease, it's a disorder. Cardiac problem is not a disease, it's a disorder. Today, if you have a cardiac problem, don't worry, 99% you can be cured. The major thing is your arteries and veins are clogged with fat, stupid idiot fat like cholesterol. They'll put a drain and clean, like you get a drain clogging in your house, you put a bamboo or a wire like metal things, and you clean is the same process they do. They put a spring to enhance this, which they call as a stent. Now, these are the two things. If I look into their economy in 2019 was $4.6 trillion, more than my country's total economy in 2019. If I look into the healthcare industry, the way it's growing, and today, 2023, if I ask you, what's your problem in the healthcare? People are coughing for months. Pulmonary composition, the lungs, has got a fluid as a liquid that's not getting out of your body. Do you know why? Because our lungs has got so much of immunity now, we have injected the COVID vaccines. These are not vaccines. These are called immunity boosters. First dosage we took, it doubles our immunity. Second, 4 times. Many of you have the third vaccine, right? In the name of vaccine is 6 times. So my body, your body is immunized in this country and also in this world. 6 times. So once any virus that impacts your body or any germ or any bacteria goes into your body, that means it has defeated your immunity power, which is 6 times right now in 2023. In 2019, it was power 0, means the natural. Now you have an artificial power of 6 times. So the moment this goes in and you have the same antibiotics given to you in the form of a cefixime, azithromycin, augmentin, these are 3 combinations, right? Along with that, some anti-allergies and some kind of a paracetamol to control your endothermic and exothermic body temperature reactions. These are the things, if you look in, today you are taking the same antibiotic, same doses, 3 azithromycin, it doesn't cure you. Cefixime was normally given for lungs for a kind of coughing and everything is 400 mg per day. 3 days was enough. Today, Japan's pharmaceuticals have started the formulation cefixime, not 200 mg, is going to be 2000 milligrams and 2 tablets per day, and pediatric will be 1 tablet per day for 3 days. Why they are doing this? Why this formulation is coming in? I'm getting a cough and cold. I need to have this medicine of cefixime to get cured in 3 days and 4 days time. That's why it's coming out. Our body has got the resistance. This is another dichotomy we are living in. Still, we are looking for many such new progressions. Let's look at few of the progressions that we are facing. In this world, if I take the history starting from 1st century AD, because I want to take it, leprosy used to be the biggest world's disease. Leprosy is caused by disease. Today, we don't care, right? Hardly any lepers are seen in the world. Leprosy specialization doctors are no more in this country or in this world. Are they there? Gone at that profession, right? People used to get LMP, licentiated medical practitioner, along with a degree called MBBS, Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery, with a specialization called leper care. That specialization is no more. Then comes another phase which we call bubonic. Big brother of pandemic is called bubonic. We had one bubonic in the world. If you open the dictionary, what is plague? It's bubonic. Plague had swept over almost 200 million population from Europe. Half of the Europe's population in the 13th century were wiped out by plague. Cities after cities were left with no population. We invented a fantastic medicine called tetracycline. Today we are not using the tetracycline, but we are consuming tetracycline indirectly. The reason is that took away the plague. Today, if we get plague, India is well prepared to manufacture tetracycline in 48 hours to deliver to the world. Tetracycline drug is manufactured. Drug means is the antibiotic or medicine is called drug, not narcotics. Is manufactured in India at a price of 400 rupees per kilo. Because the word drug is now changed in the world because of narcotics, right? Because otherwise drug is nothing but the pharmaceutical, right? Narcotics are narcotic. People are not using the right word in the world. So tetracycline is manufactured in India at a price of 400 rupees per kilo. Am I consuming the tetracycline? Are you consuming the tetracycline? My question is this. I love eating prawn fish, tiger, shrimps, prawn. If you go to the area where the tiger prawn and the prawn is being produced, coastlines of Andhra, coastlines of Tamil Nadu, coastlines of West Bengal, do you know what is put to the prawns in the feeding? Tetracycline. Why? The prawn growth is better. Second thing, the prawn is fragile to any kind of wastewater, will not die, will get a higher resistance. So prawn is there and you are consuming the prawn. The brand is tiger prawn. It's not today's issue. I wrote about this an article way back in 2011 in the journals out of a direct field survey. So how much prawn takes tetracycline? One pond, they feed almost 2 kgs of tetracycline with the prawn feed per day. And that is once in a week. And they repeat it for 8 weeks. Then the prawn weight increases from 100 gram in 4 weeks to 375 grams. That means 3 prawns equivalent to 1 kilo. You love prawns so nicely. You think it looks like a lobster. I'll buy the prawn at a price of 1,000 rupees kilo. What a lovely food we are buying and consuming. And that gives to our body the tetracycline. Body turns antibiotic resistant. That's a big problem of the world today. This is one. Second, we love fresh milk. Buffalo milk, cow milk, fresh milk. Do you know the cow type called Holstein, which is meant for the cold climate of Norway, Europe, etc., cannot live in this country. So we have got a mixture of these varieties called Jersey F1, F2, F3, right? We have Holstein also. Some areas Holstein and these cows are very successful. Buffalo's Mura is the finest breed in India. Mura is from Haryana. 2 other breeds, Surti from Surat, Mehsana from Mehsana. These are the breeds, and all this milk we are consuming. We pay higher price to the Gwala milkman to buy the milk at a higher price because of fresh milk. Have you ever marked this cow feed, cattle feed, buffalo feed given to these animals are mixed with tetracycline? Not only that, animals are given tetracycline injections almost once in every week to keep the productivity and milking capacity at high. Second thing, if not, at least once in every month, so that animal will not be susceptible to any kind of contagious virus. There is a virus which affects the animal, basically the foot areas where the animal finds it difficult to walk. To protect them, they give this. Do you know how much tetracycline injection is given to a buffalo or a cow at one go by the veterinarian? You'll be surprised. This is 300 ml. Do you know what is 300 ml? Like a cold drink bottle. That's the size. And if you ask the veterinarian why so much, animals are susceptible to many things. So this is the dosage is required. You are consuming the fresh milk, giving it to your baby, small baby. They are getting antibiotic resistance toxin in this world. And you take the baby, gets a flu or a fever to the doctor. He said, I don't understand why this antibiotics is not working on the babies. Because of this fresh milk. What Amul does, it takes the fresh milk, puts into the plant, and Amul does a pasteurization process by which it kills all the bacteria possible in that. But the antibiotic also in this pasteurization process get destroyed by 90%. 10% remains as it is. Then an enzyme is mixed into the milk to destroy that remaining 10% of the antibiotic in the milk. Then the milk is converted into powder so that every antibiotic-free milk is produced in normal plants. Then the powder mixed with the water, then the milk is produced and that is pouched and sold. And pouched milk is most safest milk today if you wish to consume in this country. And Amul is exporting the milk outside India and it is exporting only the powder milk. Because Europe is very careful. They are looking at the toxin level, 0.22 ppb particles per billion. Can you imagine this kind of a quality control measure? The European nations are looking at India. And in India, what is the toxin level in this milk? There are n number of reports produced by n number of research institutes in the areas of dairy technology. To talk about there are many dichotomies we are living. We are turning antibiotic resistance. How often are you consuming azithromycin? Are you consuming a medicine called sulfaguanidine? Are you consuming a medicine called micropricrocin? Are you consuming a medicine called tetramycin? These are the names you might have heard, right? In the English films, he said, why should I eat tetramycin? And this mycin, I don't have any sin to do. So these are the things, if you look at, these are the kind of things we are living in this world. So with all this kind of consumptions, what's happening to our body? Diabetes is growing in India. Do you know what's the major reason? It's very fantastic reason by the pathologist, by the medicine specialist, nephrologist, and by the diabetologist. It's genetic. Really, is it genetic? If you look at 100 articles, 90 articles you'll find that claim it's genetic. 10 articles will register it's not genetic. And if you go by this research to find out, each say that, okay, my dad was having this, my mother, my grandfather, so I'm diabetic, no problem. I'm going to live the life. But living the life with diabetes is very difficult. Slowly it damages all the organs of your body. And finally, where you end up? You end up as a dead body cell. Do you know when a diabetic patient dies in the hospital, kept in ventilator or kept in the ICU intensive care units, what causes the death? Is it a cardiac attack or is it a pulmonary failure? Pulmonary failure, congestion of the lungs. Then what the doctors do? Tracheostomy, making a hole in your throat, putting a pipe into the lungs and pulling out the cough and trying to survive you for 5, 7, 10 days. Then when you fed up, you say close this and the patient goes out. That's the gift of a diabetes. And why this diabetes and all these things are gifted like this? You say diabetes has ruined. Why our pancreas gets this disorder? The reason is antibiotics indirectly that we are consuming, which are not required for our body, the food we are consuming. Today, the world is carving for a word called organic, produce in your own kitchen farm and consume. Do you know what a rich man does these days? He has got 2 acres of land, produces everything in that land for his own consumption and eats naturally and says, I'm a rich man. Is really a rich man. Do you know who is the richest man in the world? Whose health is best is the richest man. Or the person who died in Japan at the age of 118 is the richest man in the world to say. Not rest of the money or anything. Health is your richness. There are many such dichotomies we are living in this world. To talk about one such, I'm coming down. What the pharmaceutical companies are doing. What big is their lobby? How are they doing? There are 2 disorders for which they are addressing. And look at these 2 disorders. $4.6 trillion business. Would you like to get 2 inventions to stop this business? Would you like to say like leprosy specialists, smallpox specialists, plague specialists are no more existing? Will you like to say that tomorrow cardiologists will not exist, cardio interventionist will not exist, endocrinologist will not exist, nephrologist will not exist, diabetologist will not exist, and hospitals with super specialty, multi-specialty will close down by 50% if these two disorders doesn't exist. This is the fact of life. Now coming back to this, what exactly these facts are all about. I'm looking at a figure of 2017. This is the global economy in many contexts. Now, let's go back to understand some cardiology industry, which is $2.5 trillion in 2019. Today, this has increased by 70%. Before pandemic and after pandemic, big market. Diabetology industry was 2.1 trillion. Today it has increased by 100% by the latest report released this month till the end of December 2022, not 2023. So this is what, and if I look into the global pharmaceutical market is now $13 trillion. 2019, $7 to $9 trillion. This is the growth rate. So you can imagine where our money goes, whatever we are earning, where are we spending this money? Food consumption by the world has increased 2023 is 9 trillion USD. That means we have increased the food consumption from this level. Now it's reached near about $960 per capita per world. And whereas the pharmaceutical products consumption has gone up much more, to think about this. Great, 19 trillion. 19 trillion. These are the reality figures and realities, because that's why these kind of researches are refused at many fronts to be published, especially by United Nations and WHO. WHO is controlled by a pharma lobby. Today, if you look at many governments in the world are controlled by the pharmaceuticals lobby. Number one, United States. Number two, UK. Germany, France. Can you imagine what is the pharmaceutical lobby, and world's top pharmaceutical companies are located in these countries? This is what is the global pharmaceutical market. Let's look at the cardiology impact. Our heart is very good. God has given everyone almost an equal heart by 99.999%. That minor is a defective heart, right? Our heart knows how to pump. It works. When it stops, we are dead. Only the things, the pipes goes to the heart carrying the liquid, that is blood, needs to be clean always. What clogs the pipe, means chokes the pipe, is a stupid cholesterol called, a stupid fat called cholesterol. LDL cholesterol, SDL cholesterol, and triglyceride, 3 cholesterols, right? 3 are fat. These are the dirty things in our blood. Our body produces 80% of this cholesterol, 20% is produced by the food dietary habits we have. If we control the dietary habits, we are able to control only that 20% of the body fat cholesterol, not more. So getting a heart attack is obvious because your artery and veins gets clogged. Why it gets clogged? Because this fat is a stupid fat. With a rising temperature, it solidifies. It doesn't get liquidation or liquefied with a rising temperature. If you take out the cholesterol and put it into a temperature up to 67 degrees centigrade, means the boiling point, it will solidify. And after that, it turns liquid. When we do a jogging or we go for say marathon run and etc., do you know our cholesterol body temperature goes up to 41, 42 degrees centigrade when you do a marathon. And our cholesterol fat solidifies more. If you have a heart attack problem, if you are thinking you are a marathon runner, you will be very much high in this. This is one size of this. And if you look at the same time to diabetic side, your pancreas either produces more or less, then you get diabetes. But the thing is, we have medicines. But these medicines will take time, may not come, may come, but possibility that they're likely to come back. Is my time getting off? How much? 5 minutes, 2 minutes? Over. Okay, I'm just finishing it up. So you understand the world market right at this moment. So I'm taking you directly to this figure. So this kind of world we are living with, and after pandemic, take it for granted where we are going to live. These are the companies whose turnovers are very high, and this is what they are going to rule us. We are talking about global sustainable growth strategies by United Nations, but we are dying out like this. And after the pandemic, we are highly volatile. We have to increase our pharmaceutical consumptions than food. There is no alternative. So we need to look for to turn rich, having our own farm, produce for ourselves, and sustainable to eat ourselves. Maybe that's a luxury for everyone. Thank you very much.